Welcome to Versus, episode 35, and this will probably be the only place where Will and I use our nicknames because Multiplex won't allow us to have nicknames next season. So I am Calamity JWMaher, and that is the Bruce Will Cohen. Only here on Why We Love Horror. Episode 35 of Versus. Will, we made it. How you feeling?
Well, I'm bitter because, unlike most people, I did not give myself the nickname. You gave me this nickname, and so I'm going to keep it to the day I fucking die. Other than that, I'm doing well. John, ever get the feeling that you're lied to?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. We'll go into something very specific, but let's, John, first, what are we watching here? And why?
Since Christmas was coming up, and there's really only one traditional Christmas Jagged Edge movie, and we've been jumping the gun too quick. So I said, let's shoehorn in these two Easter movies first. They made two Easter Bunny Massacre movies, and this is the first one.
May this be the first of many Easter weekends celebrating together.
I didn't do this.
Well, your hands are all covered in blood.
Don't try and pin this on us. Stop! No, I'm not going down for this.
Can't have this following us around for the rest of our lives.
I think it's pretty clear what we need to do, isn't it?
It's done. We're all here now. Who sent the invitations?
One of you around this table killed me. Time to find out who.
That is the Easter Bunny Massacre. It's part murder mystery, part slasher movie, part teen romp. I guess it's a very PG teen sex romp as well. Will, your initial thought?
They spoiled the ending of the movie in that trailer. You realize that, right?
Yeah, of course. It is Jagged Edge.
No, this one's more egregious. And we'll go into it, but this one's even more egregious, and we'll go in once we get to it. Well, I'll tell you. We'll loop back to this.
All right.
But first, the reason why I feel like we were absolutely handed us like a bag of beans rather than the magic shit that they promised us. We looked at the original. We looked at the box art for this thing, the poster that came on Tubi, this ugly thing right here. We were promised a killer bunny. And it turns out it's just a Scream ripoff, essentially.
Yeah. This is actually what happened. The movie is this. It's just it's a dilapidated, fucked up bunny head. Not this. It's this. That's accurate.
So
this isn't.
It's really interesting as well. And I mentioned this in something that we'll go over later too. But at the beginning we have people at Easter weekend, partying out in the woods or whatever, bonfire. Everyone's getting like plastered and everyone's getting, like lit up on Molly or whatever, like anonymous drug.
They're doing pills. Yeah.
They're doing random pills. And for some reason, someone brought a bunny head.
Oh, yeah, definitely. She's such a slut.
Now, there's I have to point out something weird about the bunny head. It already has blood on it.
Yeah.
So this scene was clearly not shot first.
Oh no, definitely not. That bunny head just always has blood on it, I guess. So they bought it from the auction with the blood on it. The other thing that we noticed from the beginning of the movie, from the very beginning of the movie, is Heather, not the main character, but the person the movie is centered around, we'll say.
The Tippi Hedren of the movie.
Yeah, she refers to the entire group of people as graduating high school seniors, and these people are our age. Like, there's no way they're not our age.
To escaping the hellscape that is Little Willow High School. No more exams, no more teachers telling us what to do.
Amen.
I mean, maybe slightly younger. Like I would say, like late 20s, early 30s. But
The one dude has like he has more creases in his forehead than I do. What's the guy?
yeah,
Carl?
this is definitely like CW high school at best.
Yeah, the dude who plays Van Helsing from Van Helsing, Wrath of Van Helsing, he has a very furrowed brow. I'll put it that way. Like my forehead's holding up better than his.
Yeah. Baby face. These people are not.
Yes. So yeah, they're all going to university next year. So they have this big long night of just drinking and drugging and debauchery. And then Heather is murdered by someone wearing the bunny head. That's the
bunny head that they brought.
Yes. And here's I'm gonna put this up front now. Whoever the murderer is, right, not only murders Heather, but takes Heather's blood and gets it all over everybody else's face and everybody else's hands. So they went into every single tent
and clothes.
Yeah. And just smeared blood all over everybody. Like the amount of time and stealth, solid snake level stealth it would take to smear blood on like 7 people is crazy.
Don't say it. We all have Heather's blood on our hands.
Okay, so she's dead, and the surviving friends, one of them has to be the killer, right? So that's what's good. One of them has to have murdered her. They decide like, yeah, we're all gonna cover this up. So they I know what you did last summer, right? They put her body in the river, but still make her a grave. They put her in a sleeping bag full of rocks, throw her in the river, but then they put like a cross to commemorate her death. Like, if you're covering up a murder, why leave a fucking grave? You know, like, I don't understand that.
I don't know. Nothing of this movie makes any sense.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, I think it definitely makes sense to itself. We'll all get back to that later. So Heather's dead. All the other friends survive, and they go about their merry way. And then a year later, it's the "I know you did last summer" thing. Like, they all get letters to come meet up, and all of them except for one do. So they do the "it" thing, where one of the friends kills themselves before they're just borrowing all. It's "I know you did last summer." It's everything. They go. Everybody but one girl makes it to the house, and then one person brings their brother, one person brings their girlfriend. So they replace the dead folks.
Hey, mate. Good to see you.
Yeah, and from there, they're given they're given notes and recorded messages of Heather's voice, allegedly.
You guys, I'm so glad you're here. I just love Easter, don't you? I'm so glad we're all together again.
Giving weird riddles and time frames of like what they're supposed to do in order to like coax confessions out of these people. And then all of them start, slowly getting picked off.
It's weird, and they do this jagged edge thing, like where like you see the killer in the background, like just slinking around
lurking.
For no reason. Yeah, the killer is lurking. And not spoiler, right? They do things which other movies have done, and like, but they other movies do it better because they toe a line where it's like, oh, that killer's really fast, or that killer's really smart. When there are 2 killers. This movie does it where like there have to be 2 killers, because like you legit see like the killer on like 2 different floors, like within like seconds of each other. Like, it's physically impossible because the shot doesn't break.
I mean, we already know there's 2 killers thanks to that stupid trailer, which
True that.
That's literally like the third to last scene of the movie.
But in the
That
movie,
it
it's played
is.
like a big reveal. It's played like a big reveal. But if you watch the trailer or paying attention at all, you know there have to be two killers.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe one of them had the portal gun from Dinosaur Hotel 3. We just don't know.
And the
But-
weird thing is, like, when the second killer, when the fact that there is a second killer is revealed, it's played like not only like a big surprise, but it's a surprise to the other killer. Like, and we'll get to that in a second because that's like so stupid. It's genius, that twist, I think. But like,
yeah.
let's go through some of the kills. I think the first major kill is Neil, the Asian friend whose accent is spot on. They dump melted chocolate on his face. And then they stab him like 50 times. Which is weird because that kill is so brutal, I guess. And a lot of the other kills are just hokey off-screen bullshit.
Right. And I was really, really hoping that we would get like random Easter Bunny deaths just to make this more entertaining. And honestly, it took me so long to realize I was melted chocolate and not just liquid shit.
It's funny if you think shit.
It's like, dude, he's clearly in pain, but it's like it's not steaming.
Yeah,
so it's like
just chocolate.
Are they just dropping like hot pudding on his face? Like I didn't know what it was.
I don't know what it is. It's like chocolate mousse, lukewarm chocolate mousse for your face.
And it's like, okay, is it going to solidify around his head, and that's how he's going to die? Because these movies are so absurdly stupid. That's what they literally could have done. But no, instead, he's just like wiping it off, crying, and then gets shanked like 50 times with no stab wounds, mind you.
It's definitely a prison shanking. They stab him a lot. And that leads me to like a side point. It's an incredible nitpick pet peeve of mine when they show dead bodies and you can see the dead body breathing. When they find Neil's body, the guy, Carl, I think, is just sitting next to his body. They just have him. He's just like, it's a long scene and you just see the dude breathing the entire time. It's like, don't shoot the body. He's breathing. And this happens throughout this movie.
Yeah. And so like at that point we get the second message. Like no one knows where this guy is. Like you would have thought that like they're all in a small house, and so the guy like screaming out in agony from hot chocolate being like poured, like hot like molten chocolate being poured on his face, and then oof 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 oof. No, nothing. No, we're all deaf. All of us have our fucking earbuds in at the same time.
And then another jagged edge chestnut is the next person who's killed is his girlfriend, and the bunny has a gun.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. So.
That it just ran. You'd think if you have a gun and your mission is to kill all these people, you would just use the gun. But they just used the gun the one time and just shoot her in the head. Worst.
I mean, they attempt to use it later on. Let's be fair here. They do attempt to use it, but we'll get into how absurd that stupidity is later. But I was thinking like, okay, sniper.
Yeah.
Because like there's no way that people would not realize that a dipshit in a bunny costume with a gun would go unnoticed by 7 adults.
Yeah, but also like,
but that's exactly what happened.
Here's like the way it all falls apart logically to me. If you brought a gun, like if you brought a gun to do this job, like you're among everybody, you legitimately could just pull the gun in the dining room and kill everybody and then go about your business, and you've succeeded. like you've won, but that doesn't happen.
No. Oh yeah, this, and sure enough, as soon after she's shot, they quickly cut to the rabbit literally holding the gun 10 feet away.
Yeah.
And no one saw this person, no one heard this person. Like, these floors are creaky as hell. You can hear every step these guys make. You don't hear that, rabbit?
Nope. Then then it's kind of like random, kind of haphazard. There's kills off camera, like just with baseball bats and like all kinds of stuff.
And hammers.
Hammers, yeah.
Like at one point, like they after the gun, you see the rabbit with the hammer and just smashing the table with the dishes, like in a threatening manner. It's like, okay, sure.
And then the movie is interspersed with like backstory, which is kind of not really like a jagged edge thing that we've seen before. Like, we learned that Heather was a real bitch, and this never makes any sense, even in good movies. Like, why does everybody hang out with this girl? She is the absolute worst. She's like Perez Hilton with boobs. Like, she just absorbs gossip and weaponizes it against all of her friends. That's like her role. So she was gonna die. And every time they cut back there, she's just a worse and worse and worse person.
You might as well stay down there. It's where you belong.
So she was going to die. We find out who kills her. But then it turns out when the reveal happens of who the killer is, I'm just going to jump into it.
Go for it.
The one girl, Amy, had killed Heather. Right? Amy is the one that brought her brother. It's revealed that her brother is the killer because the brother knew that Amy had killed Heather, and he was not even helping her, independent of Amy. He was doing it to tie up loose ends. It's all his plot.
You were going to kill all of us. I had to protect Amy. One of you is a murderer, and you're just allowed to go free, living normally.
However, there's a second killer. And the second killer is Amy, who had the same idea as her brother, independently of her brother, and they never had a conversation. Hey, I'm going to put on a fucking bunny mask and kill people in the woods. You think that would be a conversation you would have, because that's a very, very, that Venn diagram is a circle.
Amy, what are you doing?
It was me, Marty.
Like,
It's like, this is so wild that we both bought the same bunny head with the same blood splatter.
right? Like, what are the odds? Man, it was, I don't know what the FBI is in England. It was MI4, like MI5, would have been all over that. Like, that's crazy. They should have been there. They should have been there to stop this crime before it happened.
Oh, and like at some point, like they revealed that Amy was the one who killed, I think, Zara is the missing girl's name.
And the girl that killed herself didn't really kill herself. They just thought that she was going to blackmail them, so they staged her suicide. They reveal a lot. Like, the backstory comes together, and you're kind of like, wow, this movie could have been great. It really could have been. They just chose to not make it great.
And so it comes down to like one survivor, which, correct me if I'm wrong, that's the dude from Wrath of
Van Helsing. Carl.
So yes, so Carl's, Carl, it comes down to it, and you would think that a 6'5" juggernaut, of that dude plus Amy would be enough to take him out. No, somehow this guy is like military trained. He's just beating the absolute hell out of both of them.
He even takes a hammer. I think he gets hit in the head with a hammer during the fight because he's like he ground and pounds the brother like the worst fight choreography you've ever seen. It's like 1930s Popeye cartoons. Then he gets hammered in the head. And he no sells it. He's like the Undertaker. Then he just goes and fights the guy again. And like rams him in the tree. Then he gets the hammer and he hammers the guy in the face like 3 times. The girl jumps on his back. He cold cocks her. He's the juggernaut. He's crazy.
And then he manages to get them back into the room, completely unconscious. Somehow he's like shouldering both of these people, sets them up in the room. They wake up amongst like
all
their handiwork.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do as a killer. You
if I had to guess, I'd say the brother is dead. I don't think the brother survived because he looks dead. But Amy, the sister, just got punched in the face. So she wakes up and sees Carl, the survivor. And what does Carl do? He does the old Halloween 4. He puts the mask on, and the movie ends. Yeah, let's go. That's it. Let's get to these ratings. Like I said, I would want to hate this movie, but there's enough like there was thought put into it. I guess it's not a ton of thought because there's a lot of mistakes, but there was thought, and I appreciate the effort. So I'm going to treat this as better than most Jagged Edge movies. I'm going to give it a 2. What do you got, Will?
I'm actually going to give it a 2 for almost the same reasons. Yes, they put some thought into this, and it is the typical Jagged Edge problem where there is a good movie in here somewhere, and had they flushed out a couple things and made a couple things make sense, they could have made this a good film. I am always a sucker for whodunits, especially in the genre, and so I liked the aspect of 2 killers not knowing what was going on. But unfortunately, that's where the film does fall apart. As on top of apparently people not being able to like dry clean a costume every once in a while, or make things make sense on a linear platform.
Yeah, well, guess what, Will? They made a sequel to this.
They did.
They did make a sequel. So Easter Bunny Massacre, The Bloody Trail, we'll be watching for next week. Can't wait for that. If you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. Follow us on Letterboxd. Mine's below me. Will's is below him. And the schedule is always the same. Monday is Versus, you're watching it. Thursday is Why We Love Horror. Friday is Why We Love Horror Trivia. And then there's bonus content. There'll be new shows coming, limited editions, the whole deal. But we appreciate you stopping by. This has been Versus.